Okay, welcome back. Now, very soon there is going to be a big change. I mean, it's been like 3 years, I believe, and we all kind of came to the same conclusion that we need a change in the corp. So, very soon we will be doing a lot more things besides PvP. Now, the combat is obviously not going away, but we will be doing a lot of there's going to be a lot of change, so I am kind of excited to see what happens. I mean, 3 years of doing only piracy, I think it was a pretty good run, honestly a pretty good run, and we managed to destroy a lot of ships along the way. Of course, we will destroy a lot more ships to come, but besides doing only PvP, we will be doing a lot of other things, and as I mentioned before, I'm honestly quite excited for that. I mean, our playstyle up until this moment hasn't really changed much. We have been doing PvP, PvP, and only PvP for the last 3 years, which is okay. We do like the combat aspect of the game, but with time there's obviously a need to change that a little bit. I mean, we did kind of miss out on a big portion of the game just because of what we have been doing. You can do PvP all the time, but occasionally it is also nice to do other things to make the game feel fresh. And well, that's what we will be doing. So you can expect a lot of different, a lot more content besides PvP only. I mean, there's going to be also some new type of PvP and some new things that I used to do a long time ago, but since I changed the whole, since my alliance at the time did collapse, I didn't have a lot of options to do the stuff that I used to be doing, but that's going to return, and I'm honestly quite excited to see how it will go, especially since now we have all of these new ships, new tactics, super capitals and all that. And speaking of ships and new ships, I'll be starting to fly bombers. Now, I love bombers in this game. Bombers in Echoes are fantastic ships. They do a very nice damage. They do apply the damage really well, since we have received all the new different skills, the implants, and all that. It improves the performance of the bombers quite a bit. Now, this is a Hound 3, I believe. Let me just check that. Yeah, it is a Hound 3. Now, I had this ship for a while, and the only thing that I need for bombers right now is the bomb launcher. Now, since I've heard that they will add the bomb launchers at one point in the future, and that might actually happen very soon, that's going to make these ships even more fun. Now, bombers right now are again very fun ships. They have primarily a PvP role, and in a group they are very dangerous, very lethal. Now, I've had this Hound for quite a while now. It has a pretty, cheap build. This is my friend's Hound that I bought for about 650 million, I believe. It has a pretty decent little build. Now, when we get bomb launchers, the Hound will be, I believe, one of the main ones because of the damage that it's doing. Now, the roll bonus, minus 99% large torpedo power requirement, minus 80% cloaking device deactivation delay, can't fit curve cloaking device, and minus 100% cloaking device lock delay. Bombers alongside Sister of Eve ships are the only ships that can immediately tackle after they decloak. And you also get some decent bonuses on the torpedo launchers. I would say when we get bomb launchers that they will add the bomb launcher roll bonus on all bombers. So that's going to be quite interesting to check out. But this bomber will be used, and you can expect a lot of bomber PvP very soon, especially since they are quite quite popular, let's say, in fleets, especially if you have the correct build. Now this build is more for a solo approach. However, when I do start to fly the bomber in a proper fleet, I will probably use a dampener, which does actually help a lot if you are in a fleet. Multiple bombers with dampeners and nothing can lock you on, and if they can't lock you on, they can kill you. I also have the dampener general units that can enhance the effect even more, so that's going to be really fun. And of course, when we do get the bomb launchers, oh man, that's going to be extremely fun. This ship is also capacitor stable and it is ridiculously fast. I believe the Hound 3 might be the fastest bomber in the game right now. 130 meters per second base velocity. I'm fairly sure I can get that. I can get that up to 1.2 kilometers per second without any afterburn or my warp drives. I still have to level up some skills, but that's not going to be a big problem. It has a decent missile range, 32.47 kilometers with 2 torpedo launchers, which honestly is pretty good. And it does apply the damage really well. After all, with bombers, your main target is a big ship, and these things are quite nasty when they're put to proper use. Of course, you can technically use them against frigates. You have the bombers that are used to camp exploration sites. I actually did plan to do that. I still might do it. In order to do that, I will have to change the high slots. I think I might add the small torpedo launchers. That works really well because, you know, for a bait build, you want to focus on a smaller ship, right? With the big torpedoes, you can't really do much damage to smaller ships, but with the rocket launchers, you can easily do that. And I will pick either the torpedo launchers or perhaps a different weapon system. But the rocket launchers are definitely going to be one of the ways how I will build the ship. But honestly, so far I'm pretty happy with the bombers. And this is one of the ships that I will be flying. I also do have plans for faction frigates, but in order to fly faction frigates, I need to have better internet. And as you guys know, my internet is let's say not the best. But I'll be flying bombers, and hopefully, I do manage to find a frigate that will work really good for me. So, with that being said, it will be time to undock, and it will be time to have some fun. Alright, now I am chasing down a Fiend. Well, trying to chase down a Fiend, although not really the best ship in order to chase down a very lethal and a very tanky faction cruiser. But you know, hopefully I pull it off. We will see. Now the bomber does have a very quick lock-on time. It can be a very good tackle, especially in low sec. Bomber tackle is very dangerous. However, against a cruiser it might be a bit tricky, but I'll still try my best. Okay, there's my friend, bubble up. Let's approach the bomber. Let's approach the Fiend. That is a new faction cruiser. They are known to be very scary, very tanky. I have torpedo launchers, so I don't expect. Yeah, I'm not doing much damage on the Fiend, but okay, I'll try my best. Fiend is slowly losing shield. I am going to slow down a bit so that my torpedoes can reach the target. Fiend is losing shield. Looks like this Fiend doesn't seem to have a lot of resistance, which is a little bit weird since it does have that defense mode. And the defense mode is known to significantly increase the resistance of the shield and armor. But looks like this Fiend is going down. There we go. Nice, that was a good catch. Fantastic work. We have been chasing this Fiend for a couple systems. We almost missed it, since we were roaming around a little bit. 10.3 billion, excellent kill. This is what I call an excellent catch, and surprisingly this Fiend didn't have a a bubble, but it was built for PvP, which is interesting. As you can see, still they are quite expensive kills, and always nice when you manage to catch one of these ships. I killed a fair share of new faction cruisers, but most of them, most of the ones that I shot at, I didn't get a kill for, which, you know, is fine. I already have plenty of kills, so that's not a big deal, but they do produce some very tasty kills, which is always a bonus. Next, we have a badger. Well, this badger cloaked. Well, I'll try to decloak. I mean, maybe I do impact the badger, maybe not. But the bomber is not really good for decloaking. For that purpose, I would use the RB, because the RB has drones. With the RB, the only thing you have to do is basically fly around the area where the ship cloaks, drop the drones, and hope that the drones decloak. You basically have a nice little 10-kilometer bubble around your ship. A 10-kilometer decloak bubble around your ship because of the drones. Depending on the range that you adjust the drones to orbit. Although the bomber doesn't have any drones, so yeah, I can try to orbit my friend's drone, but I'm not really sure that it will do much. Yeah, I think at this moment the badger is already out. Now, remember when I said that the bomber isn't really good against small ships, because, you know, torpedo launchers don't do well against small ships? Well, there is a succubus, and yeah, I'm definitely not going to decloak, because yeah, a succubus does kill the bomber, and I'm not going to be able to do any damage to the bomber. Now, if the bomber does get tackled, I might decloak. Now the thing here is that I suspect that this succubus has the Voyage nanocore. Now, by the looks of it, it is using beam lasers, and before the succubus landed, we already knew that they have a cloaking device for some reason, so that was kind of suspicious. We did scan the target, and we managed to see them first before they saw us. They also did scan, so that succubus did come for PvP. Now I'm trying not to get decloaked by the succubus. That would be pretty hilarious, actually, if it were to happen. Now, if the succubus does get webbed, I might decloak and go after it to try and orbit, but again, the voyage core might be a problem, since the voyage core does completely disable the webs, so I have to be very careful and have to play smart. Now my friend is safe. He is flying a Thorax interdictor, which is a pretty good ship, can withstand quite a bit of damage, and of course he is armor tank, and as you all know, lasers do very little damage to armor. It's very easy to tank lasers on armor, so I'm not worried about losing the bubble. The bubble is quite skilled at their job, so they should be good. However, at this moment, I'm starting to think that the succubus doesn't have a voyage nanocore. If anything, that kind of looked like the Trailblazer nanocore, because it had that gold effect, I would say, but at the same time, it does kind of look like the voyage. So, not really sure. I would say probably not voyage core, but you cannot be too sure about that. Every succubus nowadays has the voyage core. One click escape core, to be more accurate. No, the succubus did take some shield damage, and I would say that that was a big hit on the shield on the succubus. And now they're in hull. Well, looks like my friend did manage to catch the succubus. He flew right in the webs. That was a good kill and a good catch. Now, one ship that I haven't been using in a very long time is the Ortus. Now our target is a a Maler 2 Guardian. I'm sending my friends to tackle. Okay, I will stop warp so that my friend can tackle without me scaring the target. My friend is flying a interceptor, so he should be good. And I saw the Malatugaran using missiles. And they also seem to have a armor tank, so I expect this to be a very tanky ship, and by the looks of it, I would say that it did look like this Maler was a bait. Now, I might be wrong, but I'm almost 100% confident that this Maler is a bait.
Warp drive active.
As always, I'm going to bite the bait and I'm going to see what happens. Quite curious to know how tanky it came. I mean, it's a Guardian, right? Guardians are known to have an incredible tank. And they did manage to...
We're under attack.
Well, they did aggro first. They got the criminal timer. Okay, fair enough. There are 3 other players in local. Looks like a multi-box. I'm not really sure what's happening there. They all could be part of the same fleet, but at the same time, that doesn't have to be the case. So I'll be playing safe, and I'll be trying to look at possible warp out locations, just in case. Now, as I've guessed, this Mauler was a bait. After all, they did aggro first, and they did aggro first the moment I landed. Now, it's a good thing that I have a micro drift. I was able to get out of the scramble range pretty quickly. Not really sure if they have an analog core. I haven't really paid much attention to that, but you know, just to be safe, and just in case. The RB is, after all, the RB. The Earth is definitely a fantastic kiting ship, a long range ship, one of the best kiting ships in the game. Now, as you can see, my missiles are doing almost jack on the armor on that thing. So that is a incredibly well tanked Guardian. I mean, it's to be expected. I already saw missiles, and the moment I saw missiles, I knew that something was up, because usually when you build one of these ships to be a bait ship, you see missiles coming out of it. That's why I have the guidance interceptors equipped. And also, I don't expect them to have any stabs. If anything, I would actually expect that they have either power grid rigs or perhaps even capacitors. I would say capacitor rigs, because the Mauler is a very tanky ship with an amazing capacitor, and it has a decent power grid as well. So you can fit a large armor repair. Now, by the looks of it, I would say, I think the Guardian has like 6 low slots. My guess is 3 adaptives, 1 reactive, and 1 damage control, or perhaps even a capacitor battery alongside the damage control. That's what I expect to see on this ship's build. Its DPS is probably not that high. After all, it is a Guardian. They only have like 3 high slots for 3 weapons, but the DPS isn't the main thing on these ships. It is the tank, and perhaps they might even have a thermal circulation implant on top of it. So this thing does have an amazing tank. Now, usually my Ortus does about 6,000 damage, and I'm doing less than 10% of that, so probably about 93% armor resistance on that Guardian. which means that we definitely need more DPS in order to kill this ship. Now my capacitor hasn't been the best on the Ortus, not really sure why. Did they change something on the Ortus? My skills are all level 5 I believe for cruisers now, and my Ortus capacitor is struggling, not really sure what happened there. I mean the Ortus and Mordu ships in general don't have a good capacitor, but a little surprised at how quickly my capacitor did run down. Now my friend's interceptor is taking no damage, which is to be expected. I mean, a slasher to interceptor is one of the best tackles in the game. It's a one of the fastest ships in the game as well, so the missiles will probably be underperforming in order to do any damage on the interceptor. And of course, I have the guidance disruptors that do cripple the missiles on the target, so my friend is not going to be taking any damage from that Mauler, which is fantastic. Means that we can keep the Mauler pinned down for a very long time. I'm using points, my friend is using scramblers, orbiting at full speeds. Not really sure how fast they're going. They're going very fast. That's a fact, but I don't know the exact velocity that they're
Warning, capacitor
moving with.
low.
And I'm trying to use my capacitor battery in order to prolong my usage of the disruptors, but occasionally I have to turn them off, just if I have to warp out, since there are 3 other players in local. Not really sure where they are or what they are doing, but I believe if they were part of the fleet with the Guardian, then they would already be warping towards me, but that's not happening so far, which does tell me that they are not affiliated. But you never know. Perhaps they're playing the long game. In any case, I don't have a criminal timer. I only have the weapon timer because the Guardian did aggro first, so I can safely warp to any location without being killed by the gate guns. The Mauler Guardian can't do that, because if they do that, well, the gate guns and Concord will get them. But we have a friendly Apocalypse Striker coming in, which should have enough damage to go through the tank of that Guardian, so it's just a matter of time until one of our battleships warps in order to finish off this very tanky cruiser. I have to say, this is a very good tank, and very curious to see what the build of that Guardian is. Okay, there is the Apocalypse Striker, lovely. Probably a sniper build, not really sure. I would say a sniper build, but I might be wrong. In any case, let's see what happens with the armor on that Guardian. I'm fairly sure the Apocalypse will be able to go through. There we go, that was a big hit. That's also a big repairs at the same time. That's a very tanky ship. Okay, low armor. He is now in hull, the tank has been broken, and the Guardian has been destroyed. That was a tanky one. Let's check out what's inside of the wreck. Always curious to know what's inside of the wreck of the ship. Okay, looted. Now let's warp out. Not too sure I have a cloaking device on the
Warp drive active.
I think it's because I had very bad internet, so I did not want to risk the ship disconnecting its base, so that's why I have a clocking device there. But yeah, kind of weird. I don't remember putting a clocking device in the Ortus. In any case, I'll take advantage of it and just cloak here for a second. Alright, a cloaky Ortus. Only I'm the only one who comes up with something like that. 257 million, and yeah, alright, that's about what I expected from this ship. A very tanky Mauler Guardian. Had a scrambler, And yes, it did have some tank rigs. Interesting. Interesting indeed. That was a very tanky target, one of the tankiest cruisers that I fought in a while. But, you know, it was destroyed at the end. Luckily, we always have some battleships at our disposal. Now, next target, I think we have a Oracle, and I'll be taking the Stratius for that job because, you know, the Stratius is the best tackle ship in one of the best tackle ships in the game. It is very sneaky. I have the drone bombs. I have everything that I have to. I have everything that I need for the Stratius. It is also, as I mentioned before many times, a very sneaky ship. Alright, Oracle. Now its distance was about 70 kilometers, I believe, from the gate, but there's a good chance that they are moving. And for a moving target, again, a Stratius is one of the better targets. Now, not only is it good for stealthily tackling stuff, the only thing that I have a problem with this ship is the fact that it is slow. So when you're trying to intercept something that's far away and there is no proper warping, it might take a while to reach the target. But, you know, I've learned to be very patient. I've learned that rushing doesn't get me anywhere besides getting killed. So I'll take my time with this Oracle. Now they did move. They actually moved quite a bit since I warped to the station to change my ship. So they are about 76 kilometers away from me. And I think this is the first wave. Now the worst thing that can happen here is that they finish the mission before you reach the optimal tackling distance. So you have to kind of try not to take too long, but at the same time you also have to make sure that you're not rushing too much. So a slow approach is definitely the way to go. Now, based on the effects coming out of the Oracle, they have the classic ISK build that does have the shield. I think the large shield group boosters. Back in the day, you actually were able to repair your ship quite efficiently if you had multiple of these group shield boosters, because at the time the normal boosters and armor repairers were using quite a bit of capacitor, but with the group boosters you used to be able to easily repair the shield or armor, and I did like that idea a lot back in the day. It was quite a creative thing that I did back then when I slapped the group boosters on all of my PvE ships. And in some cases, in some instances, you can still do that even today, although now with the game changed quite a bit. The group boosters have been kind of surpassed with the normal boosters, but at the time things were very interesting, and that they were interesting regarding the ways on how you could tank your ship. Now it has changed, but it did not stop players from still using it, and this Oracle is one such ship. Now I'm still approaching 49 kilometers. I think they're also moving towards my direction. This is the second wave of enemy ships. Now preferably, if you're tackling something with the Stratius, you can take advantage of the other ships within the mission, because if someone has all ships locked on, they will not see your Stratius coming in, because they have like all the targets, all the possible lock targets maxed out, and they also probably have the overview set for PvE, so you can be right next to them and they will not see you. One of the things that you can use in order to buy some time when you're tackling a target, which honestly is something that's only exclusive to Stratius, to Sister Thief ships and bombers, because all the other cover-top ships have the lock-on delay, but in some instances you can actually decloak, and by the time they notice you, you already have them tackled. That it might work with some of the cover-top cruisers, but you really have to wait until there's a lot of ships, so that the target doesn't see you until it is too late. 33 kilometers. I think they also have kind of moved towards my direction, which did increase my approach velocity. Well, when I say approach velocity, I'm moving at 281 meters per second. If they're moving towards me, then the approach velocity is about 500 meters per second, which is faster because both ships are moving to each other. But still, I did reduce the distance really quickly. Now I forgot to turn on the tactical overview, and this will help me to see where they're moving. Okay, they're moving towards the right side of the screen. Two ships on the second wave are left, 25 kilometers away from the Oracle. Everything seems to be under control, slowly approaching and going to tackle very soon. "23 kilometers. They do change. And they do change the trajectory from time to time, but for now, I mean, at this moment, it is a little bit too late for them to change the trajectory because I'm already close. Okay. Trying to intercept a little bit. Moving to the right. I could technically equip a micro warp drive and just burn with the micro warp drive at 20 kilometers, but that's just a little bit too risky, and an afterburner is definitely the way to go, since the Oracle can track me well if I'm webbed and scrambled and if I don't have an afterburner. So in order not to get killed that easily, I have an afterburner, and I just I try to tackle as closely as possible so that the target can't track me if they are using large weapons. And they are using large weapons. They are a sniper Oracle with beam lasers, so should not be a big problem to speed tank that ship on zero with an afterburner, even if I get webbed. Okay, the next wave spawned, which is perfect since I'm also quite close to the target. They're locking them all on, so when I tackle, I'll have the element of surprise, but I have also to be a little bit quick here because I have to take advantage of all the pirate ships in the mission. Alright, time to tackle. Afterburner on, scrambled, webbed, orbiting at 0, focusing fire. The run bombs have already been engaged, 7 kilometers away from the Oracle.
We're under
They're
attack.
trying to lock me on, but I am already way too close for the lasers to do anything.
We're under
Oracle
attack.
now in armor. Oracle now in hull.
We're under attack.
And Oracle has been destroyed. That was a good kill. That was a good kill. Patience does pay off again. I landed at 76 plus kilometers away from the
We're
Oracle.
under attack.
Did manage to accelerate all the way up to 0. And I managed to secure the kill. This is why I love the Stratus, because this thing is just that sneaky. And it has DPS. I used to fly a tank Stratus, but I have changed that to the DPS Stratus because of the bombs and of the DPS that it can have. And so far it's been working really well. Let's take a look at the kill. 531 million. Not bad. They had a micro warp drive. That's how they managed to take distance. but they haven't been using it in warp
Undocking.
drift, and that did buy me some time. Alright, next target. What do we have here? A Mauler. Okay. Now I'm in my good old RB. Because why not?
Warp drive active.
And let's see what happens. Now the first Mauler that we have fought today was a tanky one. Although I don't think that this Raven will be a big problem, but as always we will see and we will find out.
Warp drive active.
Okay, that was me trying to find a good warping. And I have a good warping. So I'm going to return to, let's go at 31 kilometers. Shouldn't be too far, but shouldn't be too close.
Warp drive active.
The thing with the RB and with all kite ships in general is the fact that you don't want to land very close to the target. Basically stay away from webs, stay away from scramblers, and rely on the range that your ship has. Okay, going to lock on. Still approaching. Okay, pointed. Tracking disruptors.
We're under
Have
attack.
turned on. And now I'll try to maintain a orbit around the Mauler. Yeah, this one
We're
is
under
definitely not as tanky as the first one, but could still be a very good kill. So let's see what kind of loot I get. Did that Mauler just repair shield? I have a very bad feeling
We're
about this.
under
Usually
attack.
when a Mauler starts to repair shield, it's not a good sign. That is usually not a good sign, but we will find that out, I guess. Let's swap out. That was a good catch. Always fun to fly the RB.
Warp drive active.
I mean, after all, it isn't a iconic ship for nothing. It definitely has a lot. I have a lot of background with the RB, so I'm quite familiar with the ship. I also want to fly other covert ops cruisers, and I will. Let's take a look at the build. Yeah, let's not take a look at the build. A cursed Mauler, a very cursed Mauler. Yeah, don't fit your ship like that. It is not a good build. If you have a hybrid tank, don't fit a hybrid tank. It's honestly not good at all. No, the next target is a chameleon. However, I'm a little bit too late for that chameleon. I landed as the chameleon was destroyed. Oh well, was still a nice attempt to try to warp on time. Well, that was a very nice little run today. I'm definitely looking forward for the new things that we will be doing, and it is kind of a new chapter for me and for all the members for all the corp members that also did decide to change things. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe, and with that being said, I'll see you next time.